Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Joey at J1 on the MakeCode forum.
And today we're hopefully finishing up our egg swapping game. So if you haven't been joining us for the last couple of streams, we've been working on this random little game where the idea is that this was inspired by the game that you often see at Jumbotrons in sports stadiums, which is like they have, I'm used to the baseball one. So they have 3 baseball caps, and underneath one of them is a baseball. And you need to follow it with your eyes to kind of track and guess which is the correct one at the end. So right now, as we have it, we have a very boring little swap cycle that goes on. So we go like bump, 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 bump. All right. And I know it's this one over here. So you hit that and it will hatch and out comes. Oh, I got it wrong. Wait. Did I really get that wrong? Oh my gosh. I'm sure this time. All right, well, there you go. You find a little dude.
Yeah.
So we got the basic swap thing done. What I want to do today is we're going to try and kind of like finish this up by putting in some more complicated patterns and also make it go faster over time. So let's start with the faster over time thing. So right now, inside of our on start, this is where all this runs. We're just repeating 5 times. We're calling swap eggs. And inside of swap eggs, right here, we have this animation time, which is 750. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to have an animation multiplier. And we're going to change this loop to be a 4 index loop. And we're going to make a variable, which is going to be number of animations. And we'll set this number of animations to be, right now we have it as 5. So we'll go ahead and put it in there. It's 5. Let's go ahead and change this to be number of animations -1, because remember our for loops are inclusive. I'm going to put this in here. And we're going to set our animation multiplier to be 1. Now we're going to do another thing, which is we're going to go ahead and do min animation multiplier. We don't want this to go all the way down to 0, because then eggs will just start teleporting.
Which, I mean, could be fun. It could be fun to have some teleporting eggs.
No, because
they wouldn't do that in the real baseball games if it wasn't fun, obviously.
Okay, but if you do the teleporting, you would not even see the eggs move. They would just swap without you knowing. All right. Okay, so we have our animation multiplier. We have our min animation multiplier. We have our number of animations. And so what we want to do is for each iteration here, we want to take this animation multiplier and update it. Before we do that, though, let's actually just go ahead and use it. So we have this animation time, 750. So we're going to change this to be 750 times our animation multiplier. Go. And so if we take this and change our animation multiplier to be 0.5, should go twice as fast. So let's see. Yep, that looks about twice as fast. Whoops, change that back to 1. So we want to go ahead and make it so that this animation multiplier goes down each iteration. So we're going to calculate our animation multiplier based off of whatever the index is. So let's do that right here. This is going to be equal to, basically what we want to do is we want to find out what our progress is, and then we need to add our min animation multiplier to it and do it. So our progress is equal to just our index divided by our number of animations. Right? So for 0, this will be 0. For 1, this will be 1 divided by 5, which is 20%. Then it'll be 40%, 30%, 60%, so on and so forth. Right? So we have this. This is going to go from 0 to 1. And what we want to do now is we need to somehow translate this into our animation multiplier. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this number and we want to multiply that by the range that we have for our animation multiplier. So we're going to multiply it by 0.9, which is 1 minus whatever our min animation thing is. So 1 minus our min animation multiplier. There we go. This will give us 0.9. And then we want to go ahead and times this like that. So this will give us 20% times 1 minus our min animation multiplier, which will give us like 20% of 0.9, which is, I don't know, something. And then we need to add our min animation multiplier to this. And this will give us something. Now, this is going to go in the opposite direction. So it's actually going to start out fastest and then get slower. So you see that it started out really fast and then it got slower. So we want to make it go the opposite, right? So to do that, we're just going to take this bit and we're going to subtract it from 1, which is how you go the opposite direction. Oh, random user just came up with a much better name, which is scrambled eggs.
Ooh.
Hi, Belangus.
Hello.
All right. So this should now do what we want. So the first swap will be slow, then it gets faster, 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 faster. Great. All right. Cool. Okay. So now that we did that, we can go ahead and do our other plans. So we wanted to do some other random, like different animations that they can do when they're moving from place to place. So right now, all we do is we have one egg go up, we have one egg go down, and they just kind of, you know, swap between their places.
You go up.
But we had some other ideas. The other ideas were first, we had wander and then snap. So this would just be all of the eggs just kind of wander off in different directions, and then they snap into new positions. We had Pac-Man edge crossing. The idea being that one would go off to the right and then come out the left, you know, or so on and so forth. We have this random path swap, which is what Joya initially pitched this as a zigzag. So they like zigzag into place. But the idea is basically you would have two eggs that just kind of move in random paths and then snap into place. And then we have switch modes, which is, so right now we have them on a horizontal line, but we could also have them be in a vertical line or be in a triangle. So we can go ahead and mark this get faster over time as done. Random user says, I did my homework and thought of another swap animation. One egg jumps over another by scaling the image, so it looks like it's getting closer to the camera. Oh, that's fun.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okay, let's do the switch modes. That's what random user votes for, and I think that's what I vote for too. So we're going to go ahead and make a variable that is going to be current mode. And we're going to just set this to be a string, because we could set it as a number, but it's going to be easier for us to keep track of, I think, if it's a string.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and change this to be current mode to be horizontal. And I think the way we're going to do this is we need to make some function that will get our egg positions based off of the current mode. So let's make a function that's going to be like get egg position. This is going to take in a number, which is going to be an index. And to be clear, all of our eggs kind of have an index in this initial egg list. What we're referring to here is the index from left to right, basically. So we're going to go ahead and fill this out. So the first thing we're going to do in here is we're going to say, what is our current mode? And if our current mode is horizontal, I'm going to mute the sim. All right. If our current mode is horizontal, then we are just going to return the position that we already have. So right now we are calculating this based, I guess we have to return an X and a Y from this. Oh, we can do that. Spragatils has a position. There we go. Wait, do we have a way to get the XY out of this? No, but we might not. We might not need it. So this might work just fine because we might just use this to do move to. No, we're gonna need the XY out of here.
Ugh.
Okay.
Okay, we should probably add that.
Yeah, we should probably add that. In the meantime, we can. Okay, so we have two options. One is we could just code up a block for that real quick. Or we could do something stupider like packing the XY into a single number.
Single number makes sense. Or a string could work too.
Yeah. Do I want to do strings? We do have split and parse, but that's going to be a lot of blocks.
Yeah.
Let's just
array, right? We could just return a tuple.
Oh, hey, you know what? That's probably the easiest to read way. Okay, so we're just going to return a toArray, and we're going to put in the return right here, put a return down here at the bottom too. And inside here, we're going to put in some numbers. So if we look up in our start, we have this set the x to be 40 plus index times 40. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this and just move it on down here. That's going to be our x. Swap this to be the local index parameter. And then in here, we just want this to be 60 because it's just constant for the horizontal position. That. And then over here, we're just going to return 0, 0, I guess. I don't know, or 80, 60, I don't know. And this should never happen, this other case. Okay, so let's go ahead and do vertical. And for this, we are going to return, okay, so we want these 3 eggs to be lined up vertically, right? And so to do that, we are going to need, our y is going to be, our x is going to be constant this time, so that's going to be 80. And then our y is going to be equal to, let's see, it'll be, so before we were doing 40 plus index times 40. So basically we divide by 4, and then we just add that and multiply that. So we're going to be doing the same thing here. So it's going to be 30 plus index times 30. Like that. And we can go ahead and test this out real quick. We're going to go ahead and say variable, where's our current mode? There we go. Put our current mode up here, and we're going to set our positions. So we're going to say variable, make a variable, temp position equals, and we're going to go into our functions. We're going to call get egg position, pass in our index, and then we're going to set our x to be our temp position get 0, and then we're going to set our y to be our temp position get 1, like that. So we should see it just lining up right as it was before, but we do not. That's weird. Why is the index... Oh, we're setting x and x. This should be x and y.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
All right. Now if we change this to be vertical, everything's going to break, but we will see it in the beginning, at least. They should be stacked. There we go. Okay. So we kind of need to make this a little bit...
it kind of worked. I wouldn't call that breaking.
Yeah, it did kind of work. We do need these to be spaced out, though.
Yeah, but...
so
can we rotate them 90 degrees?
No.
Why
No.
not?
We'll have to animate them rotating. I'm not going to draw that.
Oh, that's true. Do we not have... We should have a way to animate rotating. Using like the I forget. Did we ever
the rotation
merge that?
thing is not merged. I mean, it is merged. It's not released. So
it's not released. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we should release that and then add that to the movement animations.
Wait, so this should be like 25. I'm just eyeballing it instead of thinking.
Just use the rotation extension. I think that this one's different than the rotation extension itself. This one was a built-in.
Though I will say the rotation will look real bad if we use algorithmic rotation, because the rotation, both for Rot Sprite and for the one that we have coming inside of Pixie Common packages, looks very bad for
circles.
Outlines.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yes, the outlines are super broken. So if anyone knows a rotating thing that maintains outlines, I would love to hear about it, but I don't know of it. So, all right. Cool. Okay, so we're going to, this is all good. Let's go ahead and do the last one, which is going to be triangle. Actually, we'll call this circle. If we ever do more than 4, it'll be, a circle, and we'll have to edit this to make it work for that. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and, I don't know, are we just going to hard code these? Is there an easy way to calculate this?
I think we do just want to hard code, I guess, just because it's...
Yeah. All right. We're just going to hard code it because I don't want to bother.
Calculate what is the question in chat?
Calculate the position for each of the indexes, right? So we want to have them laid out in a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
And the easiest way to do this is going to just be to put in these 3 values and then do a get value at 0.
Yeah, but you know what would be pretty cool is if we have it so that the when they're in a triangle, it spins around on a central axis the whole time. So they're all moving at that point, and then the animations go between them.
Okay, we're definitely not going. We are definitely not going to do that. But we can do a rotating thing. I think that's perfectly fine, right?
Okay.
But taking all of we couldn't use movement animations anymore. We'd have to write our own thing.
It'd be pretty cool though. It would be useful, I'm sure, in some way.
Or I guess what we could do is just maintain their positions like normally, and then do our own transformation on top. So make a renderable that draws on top of them with them in different positions. And then we would have to make it match back up at the end when we switch back modes.
Yeah. Make it so that the rotation is just a full 360 degrees.
Yeah. Veto, no way. So we're going to go ahead and, so we're returning 8060 for all of these right now. So we're going to make this one be 8030, I guess. We'll make this one be 40, 80. I guess it should be 4090. And then this one's going to be 12090. And then we want to go ahead and put our index in here. See how this looks. There you go. So our swaps still work. They don't look the best, but they do look fine, I guess. So there we go. All right, we have 3 modes now. So we need to make a type of animation which is swap modes, I guess. So we're always going to start in horizontal mode, and I think we're probably always going to end in horizontal mode too. But let's go ahead and make a function. We're going to call this swap modes. And to do this, we need to know what index position each of our eggs is currently in. So this is probably a good thing for us to keep track of anyway. But let's go ahead and I guess what's the easiest way to do this? I guess we'll just keep track of it and we'll maintain it when we swap the eggs.
Yeah.
So let's just store it on the sprite. We're going to go ahead and add sprite data. And we're going to grab non-sprite tools. I'm going to grab set number 2 right here. And we're going to be setting it on our eggs at the index. We're going to go ahead and just call it index and or position index. And we are going to set that to be this index like that. Then when we do the swap eggs, we're going to go ahead and make a variable that we're going to call temp number if we don't already have one. And we're going to do set temp number to be sprite data get egg ones, not data as string, data as number. Just like, oh, grab the first data block. There you go. So we're going to go ahead and get our egg 1 position index. And then we are going to set egg 1's position index to be egg 2's position index. And then we set egg 2 to be the temp number. It's annoying, but whenever you swap stuff, you always have to have a variable to do it because you need something to store while you're reassigning between the two. Set that to 2. And then we want to go ahead and set, oh, whoops, right, got to make this the position index, like that.
If you're writing in JavaScript, you can be cute with it, with array unpacking and unpacking, but you probably shouldn't.
What is your, what?
If you do, I'll type it down in chat, like A, E, that works.
Oh. Yeah, I would never do that. All right. So egg index 1, we get the position, then we override it with egg 2, and then we set egg 2 to be egg 1. Good. Okay. So now these guys should all have a position index in there. So we can go ahead and make our swap mode now. So let's go to our swap mode. And we are just going to randomly choose one of the modes that is not our current mode. So let's just go ahead and make an array, which is going to be all of the modes. Go. So it's going to be horizontal, vertical, and circle. And we're going to go ahead and set this to be this get value at, and then we need to either go up 1 or down 1. So we're going to set our temp number to be whatever our current index is. So we're going to go ahead and say, all right, let's actually put this in a variable. We'll call this all modes. So our temp number is going to be all modes get find the index of whatever our current mode is. So make this all modes, and we're going to go ahead and grab current mode. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and do a 50% chance. And for that 50% chance, we are going to either add 1 or add 2 to our thing. So, and then we need to do a remainder of that by the length of the array. So we'll go ahead and change this to be all length of array all modes. And we're going to do temp number plus 1 or temp number plus 2. And then we go ahead and set current mode. Where is it? There you go. Set current mode to be all modes get value at temp number. Okay, so we know what our new mode is now. We've swapped it. So now we need to go ahead and put all of our eggs in the correct positions based off their indexes. So we're going to loop over all of our eggs.
Are we going to put them all in one basket now?
There's no baskets, Joey.
What? Well, there should be a basket, clearly.
All right. For each of these guys, we're going to go ahead and use the move to block in sprite utils.
That would be cute if the background was a basket texture. You get me. Do you want to draw that for us?
We're not going to do. No. I want the background to be blank for now. Feel free to draw it. We'll put it in if you draw it. Okay. So we're going to do temp position, and we're going to set this to be equal to get egg position. Whoops. And we need to get the position index right here and make this value. And then we want to go ahead and do give value 0, make this temp position, and make this 1. And we're going to go ahead and set our animation time to be this. And stick our animation time right here. There you go. So I think that should do it. Let's go back over to our on start. We're going to take this swap eggs, pull that out, and just put in swap modes now and see what happens. Okay, wait, I forgot to make it not pause. There you go, pause false. Still seems to be pausing.
Something small, but could we should we consider making it so that
oh, we have the pause inside the loop, duh.
Oh, that makes sense. Something small, but should we consider making the function take like a reversed argument so that it swaps the egg positions? Would that make sense? Just so that it's not consistent, like going down and to the left. They would end instead. You'd have some cases where it would go from the top to the right.
Sure. I mean, I guess
that
we could just, put in a number here.
Oh, I guess that's true.
So we could
no reason to. We could just add 2 to it in mod. Yeah.
So we can just put in a thing right here and do pick random 0 to length of array -1.
Okay. Yeah, that's even easier.
And then we change temp number to be temp number +1 mod length array eggs, and all of that tracking that we were doing is now useless. So pull this out. Well, I don't want to help. I know how to do things. I gotta put that in there. There you go. Okay. So I guess as long as we're tracking it, might as well keep tracking it. So we'll go ahead and set the position in here. I don't know. Maybe we'll end up using it at some point. Cool. All right. So, and this is all good. Let's go ahead and collapse format code. So we want to make it choose a random animation each step. So we're going to go ahead and basically do a pick random, and we're going to call this animation seed, I guess. And this is going to be pick random from 0 to 1 because we only have 2 things right now. And then in here, we're going to say if animation seed equals 0, then we're going to do swap eggs. Otherwise, we're going to do swap modes. So go ahead and put in equals here. Grab this animation seed. The only reason I made a new variable for this is because we're using temp number elsewhere, though I think it would actually be safe to use it here. Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. All right, so now we have 50% of doing an egg swap or swapping modes. So there you go. We had swap, swap, swap modes, etc. All right, so let's change our egg swap animation to be better. I'm going to go over to our swap eggs for different modes, I mean. And then also, we're going to go ahead and say down here at the bottom, we want to force swap modes to be horizontal. I don't know. We'll deal with that in a second. But okay, so inside of swap eggs, right now, the way we're doing this is we're constructing this thing, right, where we have the average of the 2 x's, a central. If you remember, by the way that the quadratic arc works is we have 2 points. We give it a control point and we give it a destination point. So for our destination point, we're just putting in the xy of the other egg. For our control point, we're setting a point that is midway between the 2 and is either above or below. And that's why it looks nice for the horizontal swaps, but for the vertical ones, they're like bouncing up and down as they swap, when really we want them to go out, you know? Mm-hmm. I suppose. So what we can do is, instead of doing it like this, we can programmatically figure out what the angle is between our 2 eggs and then just choose something orthogonal in both of the directions. And that way this will just always work correctly. So we're going to go ahead and make an angle variable, and we're going to set this to be our angle from egg 1 to egg 2. So we can get that right here.
While we're doing this, what would you think of if we extend the path animations to include scaling and rotation once that's in the syntax from just pure vector?
Sure. I mean,
that'd be kind of fun.
It is kind of fun. How useful is it?
I mean, I think it's pretty useful, right? Like, because especially if we're doing something like what we talked about earlier, like animating a jump, and you want to do like the 2D, 3D sort of like Link to the Past style thing, where you want it to like get bigger for just a second and jump down. That's pretty easy to accomplish with an arc, and then describe while the arc is going on the path. Well, I guess you have to do it simultaneously.
Yeah, you know,
maybe it's harder. But something along in that same way could be cool.
Okay, all right. So we're going to pull out this average that we're doing here, and instead we're going to be doing this with, good old trigonometry. So to get the x value that is between the 2, all we need to do is we need to figure out what our control point is going to be. And so our control point is going to be, let's just write this out in the comments so that we know. Mm-hmm. We have the angle from egg 1 to egg 2, and we're going to need distance. So we're going to need the angle equals A and distance equals D. So to get the point that is halfway between the two, that is going to be equal to the x is going to equal math.cosine of angle times our distance divided by 2. All right, that's our x component for halfway between them. And then our y component is equal to math.sine of angle times d divided by 2. So all you have to do is swap the cosine and sine. But we don't want the point that is directly between the two, because we want our control points to be offset in the orthogonal direction. So like either above or below if we're moving horizontally. So to make that the case, we need to do another projection from this point. And we're going to get the angle that is orthogonal, the thing at a right angle from wherever we're currently at. So we're going to do plus math.cosine of angle plus pi divided by 2. And then times, so we were doing 10 before was our offset, I guess. So we would want to do 10 again here. And then our y component, same thing, we just swap this to be sine. All right. And this is going to give us our x and y. And the last thing is we have to add our original xy to this thing that we're doing. But that's the idea. So it would be better actually call this dx and dy. All right. So I wrote that out because these are going to end up being very long blocks. And hopefully this makes it a little bit clearer what I'm coding up here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go ahead and set our distance to be inside of sprite utils. We have a handy distance function. So distance between egg1 and egg2. By the way, while we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and just hard code animation seed to be 0 so that we only do swapping. And it's always going to crash right now because we're putting in an invalid coordinate, but it'll work in a second once we actually fill this in. All right. So we have our distance. We're just going to go ahead and divide this by 2 because we're not actually going to be using the full value at any point. We can just go ahead and divide it by 2. Save us a little bit of longness in our block. All right. So here we're going to go ahead and do our egg index 1. We want to start from egg 1. So we're going to do this as egg index 1. Oh, yep. It's right next to the one that's already selected. X plus this jazz. So this is going to be equal to, we're going to need another plus in here. And then we're going to need a times. We're going to need a cosine, which is inside the square root block. And we're going to go ahead and make this our angle. And we want to times the distance right here. So cosine of angle times distance, going to duplicate this, put that in here. And then in here, we're going to be cosine of angle times 10. And we want this to be angle plus pi over 2. So what is pi over 2? I'm just going to, there you go. Copy that. Paste it in there. All right. All right, cool. And our y is going to be the same. We're just going to be changing this to be sine and this component to be y. Okay, so our egg swap should look the same as before now. So let's see. Okay. Oh, I guess we had it at 110, not 10. That makes sense. 10 is 10. I was thinking 10 was a really low number.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that does.
Oh, this is Q, capital
Lower.
Q.
This is Q capital. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to make this. This is actually more like, so they were at 60 before, and we were making it 10. So this is actually more like 50.
50. Okay.
Is what this should be. There we go. That looks like how it looked before. There was a little bit of weirdness you saw where they both swiped on the same side once. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because we're getting the angle from egg 1 to egg 2, which could be in either direction.
Okay, that makes sense.
Basically. Yeah. So if we're going like left to right, it'll be like positive, and if we're going right to left, it'll be negative, you know. But it's going to sort itself out down here when we do this next one, because this one's also going to have the same thing. Because this next one is actually going to be the exact same control point, except minus instead of plus.
Yeah.
So we can just duplicate this. We don't need to swap it to be egg 1 where it's egg 2 or anything like that, because the angle is the same.
Just reverse.
So yeah, we're just going to put this in here, and we're going to change this to be minus pi over 2 instead of plus pi over 2. And so now we should have nice swapping. Let's see it go. There we 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 go. Looks good. And we're going to go ahead and call swap modes up here. And we should now see nicer swaps in whatever mode this swaps to. So I'm going to go ahead and swap it vertical. And there we go. We have it swapping nicely. Let's do that again until we get the triangle mode. No. There you go. Swap, 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 swap. Nice. Very good. All right. Sorry, this concludes the trigonometry part. So,
too bad.
Well, until we do the whatever next thing we have to do trigonometry for, but undo. Okay, so this is good. We can go ahead and change this back to being the random number, except I think I just threw that away. And now, since we have two kind of swaps going on now, we have the swap modes and we have the swap eggs. I think maybe we should spend our time focusing on the hatch thing instead. So, right, we have this hatch animation that plays at the end, right? Okay, wait, toss out this beginning swap modes. Wait for it. Doop, 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 doop. All right. And so I didn't pay attention to which one was that. But right now, this hatch is completely silent. So it goes bump, 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 and then hatch. We need it to play a sound. This is not satisfied enough. So I'm actually going to go ahead and make a function. This is going to be called do animations. And we're going to shove all of this junk in there, except take out this part, right? And so now I can just put this do animations in here if I want it to actually run. And if I don't want it to actually run, I can just do this. And now we're just immediately in choose egg mode. I guess I can put this whole bit in here. So I can put in the all this too, and then just pull out the cursor and choosing egg part. Put that in there. And then put that right there. And so our do animations goes here when we want it to actually run. But if we don't want it to actually run, we can just do this, and then we're immediately in the cursor mode. Great. All right, cool. So we want to play some sound effects while this hatching is happening. So let's go to our hatch egg. So I was initially thinking we would have like a drum roll going on, and then we want to play something every time it cracks, obviously. Mm-hmm. So let's start with the cracking bit. So the cracking happens.
Hooray, I can start slightly understanding again from byline this.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make a sound effect. Be relatively quick. That's like a cracking sound, right?
Yeah.
I like the warble the most. There you go. All right, so we can go ahead and play this sound. We'll do it in the background. And so go ahead and do this. And oh, that's not playing the sound. Oh, I muted it. Yeah, that sounds right. Cool. Okay, so I want it to be playing a drum roll. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to do our best. So we're going to go ahead and do another separately do here. We're going to have a while true. And we want to make what sounds kind of like a snare sound. And we're going to do this until done. So now if we hear this will be... All right. And then we want this to stop, obviously. We want this to stop, obviously, when we do the reveal, right? So we're going to make a variable, which is going to be hatching. And we will set this to be true. We're going to change this to be while hatching, not while true, while hatching. And then we're going to set hatching to be false once we get the final crack. It's going to be right here. So and then we'll play like a da-da-da-da or something like that. And so let's go ahead and make this a better snare-y sound. So I don't know, we can look at the gallery real quick, see what we got. Nope. 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 I just want to do this hi-hat sound. I think this will be way too fast, but let's see. We're going to go ahead and put in a pause.
Ooh.
No, this does not sound good. Okay, we're just going to do our own sound effect, I guess. So let's start with a sine wave. Make this much longer, like 100 milliseconds. We're going to make it much lower and with more frequency change. Much lower. Okay, maybe not a sine, maybe a triangle. Yeah, and make the difference less.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Random music. So it's the backgrounds that they have are not like full art, but just like a background, a repeating background. So it gives the impression of a basket without like having like an arc and all that sort of stuff.
So when we do the hatching, we kind of want, like when we think of a drum roll, it's like right? It's not like different volumes. So I think we are going to oh, right, we already have an index. We'll call this iteration. And then we're going to make our volume equal to iteration mod 3 50 plus this times 20. Still sounds nothing like a drum roll. Try it with the noise. Okay. Does drum roll happen at a constant rhythm, or is it more swingy? It's like da 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 da. It's like triplets, right? Da 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 da. But it is constant. It's not like there's an equal space between each of the things, right? So I mean, we can also try changing the frequency just a little bit and see if that maybe makes it sound a little more swingy. We're not like terribly far away, actually. Like there is something here, I think. What if we layered it with another sound with a shorter duration? We kind of need white noise, I think is what I'm getting here, which we don't have. Yeah, I mean, we can add the sound effects extension just to do this. But, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Let's just pull it out for now. Okay, we have some background assets.
Yeah.
Let's grab these. There's a hash at the end. Nope, wait.
I just checked on the second.
Oh, it's G. I see. The line break was in a weird place. So
Gotcha.
Ooh, I see. So, I like this one.
That's the one I like too. It's got the right colors for like crosshatchy one.
Let's go into scene, set background image, go into our on start. This up here, paste that in there. Nice.
That's good.
Let's see what the other ones. So, well, let's take a look what it looks like with the tighter one. Just, you know.
I guess that might be actually scaled better for like the size of an egg. Was that how they actually look?
Yeah, the tighter one might be actually, I think it might like the tighter one a little bit better.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, it does look good. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, cool. All right, so we got this. So I guess what we could do instead is while it's hatching, we could play like a little arpeggio that goes like da 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 da, and then like it opens up, you know?
Yeah.
That might be fun. So for that, we're going to want the sound effects extension. So let's just go ahead and add it. We'll do original/arcade sound effects. Nope, sound instructions. Gosh. Joey, give me a quarter.
Oh.
My 102nd quarter. All right. So we're going to go ahead and create our instrument. This is just going to be a sound, and we're going to make this be a, sure, triangle seems fine. Frequency, we're going to set this to be, sure, 262. Volume, duration, I want to set the end volume to be 0. Looks good. And we're going to play this pitched. So we're going to grab this play pitched up by blank semitones. And what we're going to do here is do a separately do in here. Pull this out. We're going to do a for index. Pause until done true. And we're going to pitch it up by just index right now. So this is just going to play an arpeggio that just goes straight up, right? So let's just hear what this sounds like. Okay, very loud. Let's drop this down. Still a little loud. Let's make it more like. I don't know, 300. All right. I want there to be some overlap between these notes, so we're going to turn off pause until done, and we're going to pause for just less time than the actual thing plays for. So it plays for 500. We're going to pause for 200. All right. And we're going to basically be doing this. I want to arpeggiate. And so we're going to do this as... we're going to do a more complex calculation here. So we're going to do, I want to do. So I want it to go like up 3 and then go back down to 2 and then go up 3 and then down to 3 and then up 3. And so we can do that with some simple math. We're going to go ahead and do remainder of index divided by 3 plus our index integer divided by 3. Like that. Cool. All right.
Pretty good.
So let's set the start frequency up much higher. I'm not going to choose a specific note. I'm just going to double it. So that's going to go up an octave.
Are you using a bot to keep track of how many quarters Richard owes? Yeah, specifically Richard.
Whoops.
Just Richard.
Basically, yes. So when the bot was created, there was originally more than just me hosting. So there was more opportunities for other people to get quarters, but now there's basically only opportunities for me to get quarters. But it remains the same. We will eventually, use this to get a puppy named Tapioca.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this kind of works, but it's just doing the chromatic scale right now. So I want it to pick out the notes in like a scale so that they sound a little bit more, congruous with each other. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and just define a scale, basically. Well, we're kind of out of time here. So I don't know. Maybe we'll come back to this. Maybe this is fine. I don't like how it sounds with just the chromatic, right? It's not very good. So probably want to shift this around. But on Friday, we're going to be doing the mini game jam stream. I don't know. Maybe we have a day left in this game. And maybe on Monday of next week, we'll put in, we'll fix this up and we'll put in a title screen and call it good.
Sounds good.
Right, mini game jam. So we have a sound game jam on. There's still plenty of time for you to make something to submit for the game. You can just make some songs. You can just make a little demo or something like that and go ahead and put that in there. And a question in the chat, is there going to be a mini game jam in October or is it just the big jam? Yep, it's just going to be the big jam. The big jam is probably going to run for longer than just October. So it might also spill into November. because we want to give classrooms a lot of time to do it. And unlike our mini game jams, for the big game jams, we actually choose a winner at the end. And everyone who is chosen as an honorable mention or above gets put on our home screen. So you can see right now on our home screen, we have the previous one right here. The theme of which was Cozy Jam. It took me a second to remember, but it's in here. Hey, including random users game. Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah, so the theme is going to be announced on October 1st, and there's also going to be a website put up for it. I still need to make that website, but yeah, will happen soon. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I am Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode Forum.
And I'm Joey, at JWonder on the MakeCode Forum.
And we'll see you on Friday for the mini game jam stream. So,
yeah.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.